most countries around the world are now using competency approaches in the curriculum planning. And one of the key things in our study and work with teachers was, how do we align the competency specified in the curriculum with ESD competences? And here it was not easy. And we asked the question, how can we work with curriculum and ESD competences in subject teaching? When you look at some of the competency mapping that has occurred, it immediately presents as complex systems perspectives. And what we found with the teachers is that we needed to break it down and align it with a methodology. So the startup story sharing became a key focus, and a knowledge-based approach around systems thinking competence became a focus that the teachers were able to work very productively with. And that knowledge focus came into their lesson planning sequences. Then integrating the problem solving into a solutions-orientated competence became a focus that many picked up on, along with the problem-solving processes that were a lot more common. Then we started to look at the agency and the lead that the learners took in terms of know-how, and their values and thinking competences became really important in an iterative process around strategic thinking competence. So these became know-how and started to come out in quadrant 2 and quadrant 3 as the learners went into the local concerns out of the startup stories and their story sharing. Then being able to, ultimately this is what it's about, futures thinking competence and also implementation competence, being able to use knowledge in relevant ways to improve things in a local area. So being able to came in the transition from quadrant 3 to quadrant 4. Now, in this way, the complexity of competences and the alignment between curriculum competencies and ESD competences became resolved by many teachers, although it wasn't an easy matter. So the competence specified for subject teaching integrate well with ESD competences in lesson planning progressions once you get going and once you get into them. Significant learning can be reviewed for evidence of higher order thinking skills and for informing positive learning actions for more just and sustainable futures if we work in the handprint way. With competencies and with the challenges of understanding and deepening our support for learner-led actions that are relevant in a local area. And here are some references that you might find useful, particularly the Hoffman work on systems thinking and also the Hoffman work on solutions-orientated approaches, which I'll try to slot in to a reference so that you've got that as well.